We're fans of My Chemical Romance, and you are listening to the documentary about the band on Radio 1!
And so to the one thing that this band of superheroes holds more dear than anything else. Their purpose in life, their mission, the people they're here to save, their fans.
I'm Nicola Brown, I'm the Associate Editor at Kerrang! Magazine. Gerard is worshipped by the fan base, and when you go to a show you can see that for sure. Like, there'll be girls queuing up and screaming.
The band just came up onto the roof and yeah, we just kind of went a bit wild.
Half my wardrobe's like their stuff. I listen to them all the time.
They're just amazing. I don't know what it is about their music that just feel like they get you and they know what you go through. Hardness of like growing up and just everyday life and stuff you go through.
It's always been about who you are and to not care about what other people think of you, and even if you're the underdog, to stick in there.
You know what you say to them? You say, you cannot destroy me! You!
They mean so much to me. Their message is absolutely like heartfelt. I've never seen a band have so much enthusiasm and heart. They're the most important aspect of my life besides friends and family.
I'm ill a lot and that, and I've been in hospital quite a few times, and when I've had nights where I can't sleep, I've been in so much pain, it's them that's helped me get through it.
They found it as a calling to them. They don't exploit themselves in any way possible. They do it for their fans.
If you ever see rock dudes asking you to show them your tits for a backstage pass, I want you to spit right in their face!
Guitarist Frank Iero.
I think one of the main messages is to be happy with who you are, whoever that is. You don't have to change yourself to other people's likings. You know, our shows feel like the place that you can go where you don't fit in anywhere else. It's a community now where kids are finding people just like them. And that's what the mission is.
This is a podcast from BBC Radio 1.
You guys are playing Reading and Leeds this weekend, and nice, right? And nice to just come out there and
nice.
You're going to put a few new tracks in the set.
Yes, we will.
It's going to be great, man. I mean, you guys are playing on a great day, you know.
Oh, the irony of Zane Lowe's optimism. For you know, even superheroes make enemies. Superman had Lex Luthor as his evil nemesis. My Chemical Romance had the crowds at Reading Festival. The Daily Mail, who called them a teenage death cult, and indie rockers Kasabian, who said they encouraged people to self-harm. Yikes! They were attacked with gulp bottles of urine, amongst other things.
Emo's become a really dirty word, and I personally don't understand why it has.
Nicola Brown, Kerrang! Magazine.
I think people think that emo bands are crybaby wimps that sit around crying because girls don't fancy them and they've got no social skills, but that's not true at all. I think it's just a really lazy way of describing emo bands. People that don't know much about My Chemical Romance would assume that because they wear stage makeup and they sing about death and vampires, that they're quite miserable and they're the sort of people that would sit around cutting their arms up with razor blades and crying into their backpacks. And it's just an absolute misrepresentation of who My Chemical Romance are and who the My Chemical Romance fans are too.
And this is what the fans make of it all.
That's the same thing that happened to Marilyn Manson. If you really listen to what they're speaking about and what they're talking about, it's more about life than death. They've been stereotyping the gloom band, the death band, and it's totally not true. Their fans know who they are, they're true to them, they're true to themselves, and they wouldn't ever go and harm themselves in any way.
One could be confused, of course, if you just look at the song titles of the latest album, The Black Parade. Bob.
People that don't get into the record and don't really listen to the record and understand what the record's about are going to look at it and see, like, the second song is called Dead. You know, that's the whole point behind this record, is this record is the most uplifting kind of live your life record that I've heard.
It's called The Black Parade.
Yeah.
It's a concept album. We've always been toying around with concepts from our first record, but it's a story of a man called the Patient, and he starts off in a hospital and he dies right away. And basically from that point on, you go on this odyssey, and he examines his life and the mistakes that he's made.
Yeah.
His strongest memory is his memory from childhood of his father taking him to see this parade. So when death comes for him, it comes as a parade.
Yeah.
And so our alter egos on this record is a band called the Black Parade, and it's pretty fun actually to be the Black Parade.
It's your Bohemian Rhapsody. It's incredible.
It was definitely inspired heavily by Queen and Annie.
For this third album, the band made the final superhero transformation. Finally, they realized their true superhero natures, cast aside their drab everyday clothes, and stepped into matching costumes. Forget X-Men, forget Doom Patrol. The Black Parade was not just an album title. The band are the Black Parade.
Wearing the outfit on stage, like even just putting it on before we play, it puts you in a really weird mood and a really weird mindset, and you feel like you're a whole different person, and you go on the stage and you play those songs and you really feel like you're a character with those on. It changes the way the show looks, and it changes the way that we all feel, which then changes the way that we perform. It's kind of uncomfortable a little bit to play drums in a big coat, but it's worth it.
The album was one of the most successful of 2006.
Welcome to the Black Parade is the UK's official #1 single. It's from the album of the same name.
At first, we were like, oh, what the hell? They're done for.
Friend of the band, Alex Saavedra.
And then it started working. We were like, oh, okay. Well, now I'm starting to get it. Now I see where they're going with this. I also think it's cool the way that Black Parade opens up for My Chemical Romance at shows, and then they come back out and do a set as My Chemical Romance. I think it's genius. I think it's really fun.
Not only have the band become the Black Parade, but Gerard Way has started writing his own comic book called The Umbrella Academy.
It's hard to explain what it's about because it's very much like Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol. It's not supposed to feel like a superhero comic at all, actually. It's supposed to feel like a very bizarre, almost European family piece. You know, I guess I take a lot of experience from the band and inject it into the comic.
So could it be that a band of men, sculpted by the tragedy of 9/11, who set off on a mission to make a difference, have finally, after 6 years, succumbed to their fate? Have they and their fans finally accepted that they are, after all, superheroes?
I mean, they're not superheroes in the literal sense where they're like pushing babies, away from like falling safes or something, and they're not saving people from cars or whatever. But they definitely are superheroes in that they inspire people to become better, and they're really all about helping people. So the cliche thing is, MCR saved my life, and in that way, yes, they are superheroes because they have taken people out from their dark moments with their music.
I guess they are superheroes in their own way, whether they have a costume or not. I know they're 5 normal people, but they're amazing in their own way.
Especially when you're up on stage and like when we're playing as the Black Parade, you really feel like a superhero. It's great, actually.
I just always wanted to be one of those bands that's remembered forever. I don't want to be a band that's like a footnote.
That's the ultimate goal. You want to be mentioned as a band that maybe did something different or maybe did something great.
If we don't have anything to say and we don't have anything new, then we'll stop. But hopefully we keep going on this path and we keep growing.
Because we really never sought to hide what we really were. And I think what we really are is geeks and outsiders.
This is a download from the BBC. For more information, go to bbc.co.uk/Radio 1.